The MoneroTopia guest segment is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Store, send, receive, and exchange your Monero and Bitcoin safely on iOS and Android too. Cake Wallet is open source, and you always control your own keys.
Okay, so this is week 2 of going to the farmer's market and seeing what I can do to onboard vendors onto Monero. I took some thoughts into account after last time, and I figured, okay, how am I going to get progress here? Thing is, I realized for them, the first step was just getting them to recognize cash is king. Then they just need to make the step from physical cash to digital cash. But why would they accept digital cash when they prefer that cash that's physical? I'm like, okay, this is great. So I started making purchases, but I started realizing these people aren't always at the farmer's market. They don't always come to the same farmer's market. They also like to sell their stuff digitally. Now we got a bridge. So I started talking to them about. Yeah, I started
the list on XMR Bazaar, right?
Oh, I should do that.
Yeah.
I was just trying
it's a very good match for anybody who's out there like vending, right? Because they like selling things for cash. They could sell things for cash online to a community of people that like buying things for cash, digital cash.
That's going to make it easier, isn't it? Because then it's not just me. I'm opening them up to a whole new market.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, no, I got some new progress there. I got their cards to talk further. So that's as far as I gotten. But I would love to hear, that's exactly what I hear, Doug. Like, what should I try next? What should my next moves be to get people at the farmers market for next week?
Yeah, I would, convince them like, hey, would you be willing to, so did you get them to accept Monero yet or no? They haven't been.
I got them to accept the idea of it, and give me their card to talk further about it.
Okay. I mean, I would, as you're buying things, another thing you do is, get them to download the wallet. Be like, listen, let me just send you a tip in Monero, right? Like this apple pie was so good, I just want to send you a tip. You give them a little Monero tip, and then you keep talking to them. You like selling your apple pies for cash. You could sell them for digital cash on this platform, xmrbazaar.com. Try to get them to post, make a listing, then tell them, also on this website, if I could list you as a Monero accepting vendor. So look, you have your Cake Wallet already. I already gave you that Monero tip. You got Cake Wallet. So if you want, I could post you on XMR Bazaar that you're willing to accept Monero, and you'll be surprised. There'll be people that will find you on there, and they'll come out and they'll buy an apple pie for you with Monero, and it's a way to start bringing in new customers and earning more cash. It takes a certain mindset from somebody, but I think most people that are in this business that are already out there selling things for cash, the dots do connect. Now, the only thing then the question becomes, then they say, well, what do I do with Monero, right? So that's the next thing is, what do I do with my Monero? All right, well, then you're showing them how to
That's why Cake pays, right? They're in Cake Wallet.
Right, you're showing them how to buy gift cards with Monero, and they can do that anonymously. They buy stuff. Everybody buys stuff from Home Depot. Like, all right, you could buy a Home Depot gift card with Monero. Obviously, even better, you can go on XMR Bazaar. You can spend it there. All right, that might be a little bit of a stretch for people initially. You send them to Monerica. There's all these businesses that accept Monero. But yeah, if you're really in a pinch and you need to turn it into value overnight, you could buy pretty much any type of gift card you want directly with the Monero. And then you obviously give them the long-term spiel as well. Like, well, you might just want to hold on to it, right? I mean, you hold on to your fiat, right? You hold on to your cash. How's that been doing for you, right? I mean, you're able to buy a slice of pizza for, $1 30 years ago, and now it's like $4. Maybe you want to just hold on to some of this Monero and spend it as you need it. So you convince them on all those fronts.
Yeah, and this is much better than a cold like a cold call, like it's like a cold approach kind of thing, because your relationship starts out with you buying from them and them selling to you and them
Yeah.
opening up their business to you.
It's
And
very low it's very low risk for them, right? They're out there, they're selling whatever their homemade apple cider out there. They're selling it for cash. They just want customers. They'll be like, all right, are you willing to accept this new form of payment in addition to what you already do, right? So like, what's the risk? So you start getting a couple of new people a week that come and pay in Monero. Like, well, you're not taking a huge risk. You're not like overnight moving over to a completely Monero world where all your customers are paying in Monero. You're making at best, an extra $50 a week in Monero. And then you can decide what you want to do with it. And then obviously it will slowly ramp up from there. But it's not like they're even taking a large risk on their part, if you really think about it.
Right. So there's the balance of that, of showing them what you can do with Monero, but there's also a thing where I want to show them that Monero is money. And one easy way to do that is that these types of vendors, they all accept Cash App. And the fastest way that exists to turn something in your Cake wallet into something that you could spend on your credit card, or just in an account that these kind of vendors regard as it's in my bank account, so it's real money, is to go from Cake wallet to Trocador to Cash App. If I showed them that, they'd be like, okay, it is real money.
How do you do that? So you go from Cake wallet and then you swap in Trocador to what to get it to Cash App?
You go to Cash App and then you go to your Bitcoin and then say get deposit address, and then you copy that, and then you go to Trocador and then you create the transaction, and then you paste in the withdrawal address and the Bitcoin, and then it'll give you an XMR address. And it works both ways. You could actually get XMR very quickly that way. It's the fastest way to move that kind of, like, up to $2,000 a day. So it's very practical for that kind of money. But for them, it's Cash App with extra steps now. So I still need to show them. I need to show them that first off, I want to show them that it's real money to them, which that would be a very easy thing to do. But I also need to give them the incentive to show them that it's more than that and it's worthwhile. So I'm going to be thinking about how to do that for next week.
Yeah, and then the other thing is have them just swap into stable coins, right? They can learn about that. But obviously, I mean, ideally, you want them to understand why it's good to stay natively in Monero if you really understand what Monero is, right? But yeah.
So one of the things about that, Doug, is I don't know how to explain it, but I will tell you this. I have noticed if you show somebody how to get out of Monero, that not only are they more interested in getting into Monero, but they want more Monero. So I had a guy at my dinner table. He's a cow guy, and he was very interested in getting into Monero because he's a gold bug, and he had learned from me about gold backs and all these other things. And there are people buying meat from him in silver and gold. And he was like, I told you I wanted to sit down with you and talk about Monero while I'm in the area. Let's talk about this. And at first he was like, how can I get $1,000 worth of Monero and how do I use it? The minute I showed him how you could get dollars for it, he was like, how do I get $10,000 worth of Monero? There's just a 10x immediately when he realized that there was an on and off ramp. And that's even with the extra stipulations that come with doing it up here with the way that people like to do money. I have noticed that people are much more interested in staying in Monero when they know that there is an exit.
You can buy land in Japan for Monero.
I think that's actually something that needs to go with it. I think that's actually what I'm leaning towards now that Alaskanon said it, is try to focus on showing them, getting them money via digital cash, Monero, and in a way that they know is real to them because they're able to get out of it. But that's not the end of it. Also give them a prelude, let them know, hey, there's a lot of really great stuff about this, and I'm going to teach you more about that. But get them hooked on wanting it first, and once they want it, but also give them a clue that there's a lot more to it.
This would be a loss of money on your part, but if you're willing to do it, you might pay them twice for the item. So like if you're going to buy a pound of potatoes, whatever a pound of potatoes costs in dollars, you would pay them in dollars and give them that same amount of money in Monero. And as I said, that would involve a bit of a loss on your part. But if you're willing to take that,
Well, I mean, I would just give
then
them a tip, right? I mean, you don't want to make it so cost prohibitive,
because
right?
then there's literally no risk to them at all, because then you can show them the gift cards and everything
Yeah.
like that. But then there's literally no risk to them because they got paid for the item in the thing they understand. If you're willing to do that,
Yeah, it's not super sustainable. I think tip, selling it as a tip, right? Like those potatoes, look, they were awesome last time. These are great. Let me give you, $5 tip in Monero or something.
Yeah. I also don't want to devalue Monero by making it seem
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
it's worthless. So I'll just give it to you. Hey, I'll
Yeah.
also pay this extra stuff because it's not worth anything to me.
Exactly.
yeah,
Quadri-
fair
I
enough.
totally do that all the time. I say, I'll pay you in Monero, but I want a discount. And I don't even necessarily stick to it, but I open with the idea that I value the Monero more than I value the dollars. And then eventually they're like, well, I don't know if I'd take a discount for it. And then you can say, oh, you must not know what Monero is. And then like walk them through it all. It's like, since this is your first Monero transaction, I think I'll go without the discount. But it's if you don't know about this, if you don't see this as worthy of a discount, then you clearly don't understand what it is. Let me show you how private it is. Let me show you how you can't be stolen from. And that people love that.
Quadrio Chelata tipped $9.99. Wow, very generous. Can you please use this towards a competition prize fund for new banner on XMR Bazaar? I think the AI generated look can turn some people off a bit. Would be really awesome to have something community. Yeah, no, we've been the banner actually has grown on me in ways. Obviously, it was like made literally right before we launched. Like Anarchio just made some AI thing. It does get the point across, but yeah, it's very cheesy. We will upgrade that. I like the idea of a contest. We were thinking of doing that, and I greatly appreciate the tip. But I also want to make it like a sponsor space, so almost like we have boosts. So make it like a super boost space where you can buy the billboard on top of XMR Bazaar. So we can incorporate that perhaps just with the new design. So maybe we do the contest in that regard. Somebody to design the top space that becomes this super boost billboard for people to get their sponsorship or advertisement out on XMR Bazaar is what I'm thinking.
The search box is going to have to move, especially on mobile, for that because it's covering up half the banner itself.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Off the banner. Have to move that completely off the banner.
By the way,
that's what I'm looking at doing.
Oh, I was going to say those art competitions, they totally work. Sid and I won one once. You got to go on Dread, and they have a whole thing for it, and you'll get some great submissions.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll put the word out one way or the other. We do have some things coming up with. I know I've been talking about Trocador integration forever. That's gonna go live this week, any day now, probably this weekend even. So that's cool. So you'll be able to pay in a number of different cryptos, and then it auto converts into Monero for the seller. So maybe you got some, you could get your friend with Dogecoin to start using XMR Bazaar, right? Like we want to encourage people to come with other cryptos to XMR Bazaar. They could use them to spend and get out of those cryptos, and it will just grow Monero as the people making the sales are receiving Monero. So excited about that. And then we're also adding a forums feature. But this is really cool. I think it's unique. I think it's been tried in other cryptos in other ways, but I haven't seen it yet in Monero. So we're making a forum where you can then send tips in Monero as upvotes. So it will become a way to earn Monero by providing quality content on the forum. You could be answering XMR Bazaar questions, just general topics around Monero, explaining, what full chain membership proofs are, whatever it may be, right? Like whatever the latest discussions are in Monero. So if you submit quality posts, you'll get rewarded with Monero as people upvote you with Monero tips. So excited about that as becoming another way to grow the XMR Bazaar ecosystem with positive, like good content around Monero, and just become a new way for people to actually earn Monero KYC free. So that should launch this weekend as well. That's ready to go.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool, right? I think I've been trying to come up with ways to really keep people on XMR Bazaar, right? Because part of this, we want everybody hanging out in this marketplace all day, right? They could stay anon, but this is how we continue to build the network effect. People working among each other, creating an economy. So I thought forums was a great way to keep people on the platform, providing content, interacting with each other, using Monero to tip each other. So I'm excited to see how that works out.
Yeah, and that concept has been tried and tested on the darknet web for the cryptocurrency conversion. There's a base currency, and then you could pay in other currencies, but for offering the exchange, it's a little bit extra if you pay in a different currency. So it does motivate using the base currency, while also allowing people to, if they're stuck on this one currency and they want to pay in that, then they can.